So hello and welcome to another Valorant video. Today we are going to do a VOD review of London United versus Excel on Fracture, because for the first time ever that I have watched a pro team play on Fracture, I looked at their defensive side and I thought, that looks pretty good, because Fracture is a very difficult map to defend in general, and I haven't really seen, anyone truly defend in a way that I was like, that makes a lot of sense. That's pretty good. So we're going to see what London United did and how they defended the map, because it is very interesting. It is different to what you would normally expect, and I know that a lot of people don't like Fracture, and I think the reason is you cannot play normally, particularly on the defensive side, if you want to have success. And we're going to see what London United did so that you can learn, okay, this is probably how I need to be defending Fracture as well. But first, just a quick refresher on why Fracture is such a hard map to defend. Well, obviously, one thing is that both sites are being pinched from, behind you angles, a full 180 behind you, so it's very difficult. If one person falls on one side, then you are defending, both angles like this, and that's very difficult to defend in general. With a whole 180 to have to try and defend, it's not going to work. So that's the first part why it's so hard to defend. But the second part, of course, is that if you count up the choke points on this map, if you just defend the map somewhat normally, then you're going to end up with 6. And how many defenders do you have? 5. And so that's why the map, no matter what you do, a lot of the time feels so hard to defend. So let's see how London United managed to combat this. Well, the first thing I want you to notice is their team comp, because what you will notice in there is you have a Raze and a Jet. Now that is pretty odd, and the only other map that I've seen, teams do this to some success is Split, and Split is normally a very defenders heavy sided map. So 2 duelists there, you would think, well, that makes some sense. But what about on Fracture? Why go for the double duelist? How has this made their defense better to have more aggressive, more attacking agents? Well, that is the secret sauce, is essentially they said, we aren't defending, we are attacking. So let's quickly start with round 2. So London United did win the pistol, which always helps, of course, but I just want to bring your attention to how they've set up. So they had the Cypher and the Viper, who actually right on top of each other on the map here, as you can see, on this B side, and they had Raze, Breach, and Jet, who followed each other most of the time. There was a couple rounds where they did switch it up a bit, but for most of the game on their defensive side, they had Raze, Jet, and Breach all together, obviously with the idea that Breach is going to support the 2 duelists in being aggressive. But it wasn't just those who were aggressive, as we will see, but let's see how they managed to defend this map. So let's begin. Let me clear that for you just there, and we shall begin. And you will see that the Jet and Breach here are going towards A main, and we see that XL are going to come towards A main. The Jet is going to find contact, as you can see, and gets a few shots in, but I want you to check, maybe I'll just go back quickly as well, and we'll go to the map as this is happening. I just want you to check, look how quick this Raze comes down. So basically the shots start now, and you could see that the Raze is already there. Like, oh, forget Dish, we're going for it, right? And we end up with a kill there from the Jet, who you just saw dash away. But that was the thing, right? Raze was basically like, okay, I don't care if there's anyone Dish, I'm going to A main, I'm just going to support them, we're going to play together, forget it. I didn't see anyone at the start, just run away, forget Dish. If they want to drop off Dish, let them. And I think that's a very important point, that this Dish drop, no one's going to be sprinting down to drop down here. It's just not going to happen, right? So this Raze knows that. So this Raze feel comfortable in, I didn't see anyone, I didn't hear anyone at the start. I know that there's people there, the Jet probably said multiple people here. I'm just going to sprint down and know that whoever's on Dish is not going to come sprint down and drop off this ledge. So I'll be safe no matter what. And we can deal with these. They obviously are on a bonus, and XL only have pistols. So she's probably also thinking like, we're good here either way. We have guns, they don't. So we should be good. I'm just going to support, make sure that they don't get a gun if they do get a kill. And it ends with London United, basically, if we go back to the normal view. If I can, just give me a second. There we go. It ends with them basically, doing what you would expect, trashing a bunch of players there, and they will end up with this round win. But I thought that was the start, right? That was the warning that XL didn't quite take. But that was the first warning sign for them of, we're going to play super aggressive on you. We're not going to, just sit back on site. We're going to get in your face. So they did convert that second round, but here is the start of the third round. You can already see what's going on. We have 3 players. Look, all stacked towards the Dish side. And funnily enough, look at what is happening over here. There's a good 4 players. Now, this is on their bonus round for London United. This is round 3. They're on their bonus. XL have their weapons. But you can see that fireworks are about to go off. If we come to the normal view, there's going to be a big explosion at the start of this round, and we're going to see what's going to happen. As we run it forward, we see a boom bot, we see the jet and the rays go there, we see the breach come across here. You just saw the breach there, and well, we're gonna soon get the jet actually dies there, but then 2 kills. And what Molesy does here is really, really important, by the way. So if we go to the map, you'll see what I mean. So obviously his breach and his jet died there for Molesy, and he's also getting shot. He has a worse weapon, and you saw him like blast back out of there and try and get out as quick as he can. And he knows he has to do that. One, he has a worse gun, so he's probably not going to win the gunfight. Also, he's on 70 health. He's been tagged. He's probably not going to win this gunfight. If he lives, he is worth something to the rest of his team. If he tries and stays and fights, he's probably just going to die, and they will get a straight rush to A. They're probably not expecting that anyone else would be on A, but even so, you know, it's still a favorable situation for the attackers then with better weapons and a man advantage. They're probably going to be okay, right? So he does very well here, Molesy, in terms of just getting out and living, and as you can see, he continues to retreat back on towards the site. So he does very well there to just get out. But then, thankfully for London United, Excel are going to make a mistake, and I just want to bring your attention to this. Don't go dish, okay? Just don't send multiple people towards dish and expect good things to happen, because here they are, and you're about to see Aussie go into sight here and end up dying. And this is against worst weapons and with some tags already, and you're going to see Boo just ends up winning them the round with a Spectre. Don't go towards dish with a full team and expect good things to happen, because especially when you have better weapons as well, it's just an unnecessary risk. It's such a hard choke point to attack that there really isn't much point in trying to attack it, especially when you have better weapons. So that was round 3, but what about round 4? Well, if we start it, actually on this A side, you know, things look kind of normal. You know, things don't look too crazy this time. They aren't going to go for any crazy pushes, but what I want you to keep an eye on is these two right here. And I might play it on map view first, just so you get a good sense of what actually goes on. So you can see that there's some contact in A main. Those guys on A main, you know, they know that someone's coming. And look at these two here, just leaving the site completely. They do not care. Now they know that there's some here in A main, right? They know that people are around here somewhere, but they don't know that it's everyone. And it's actually not everyone. And even though actually XL got that first kill, as you can see, it's about to go wrong for them. And if we change to the normal view, now that you've got a good idea of what's going on, we're about to see what's going to happen. Well, they're going to win the round. They're just going to send everyone there and get 4 kills, and they end up in a 3v1, and they're going to end up converting it. And I just want you to consider that as well, that these guys here, in fact, if we come back to the map view, these guys started here and literally just went all the way, just like, you know, walking, not running necessarily, but literally from the start of the round, just they left this completely. You know, if it would have been 2 people in A main and the rest were towards B, you know, they were happy to let that go. And I feel like that's what you have to be willing to do. Just play, you know, you might be like, this is way too aggressive, but they don't care. You know, they really just don't care. They're just gonna, they heard some people in A main, so they said, okay, well, we'll kill who's ever in A main, and then we'll deal with the rest after that. They had, all of their team was in this quadrant of the map. All of them, all 5. And they only knew when these players started to come around. I think they only knew of 2 to start with, and then probably the 3rd. I just want you to think about that, how crazy it is that literally all of their team was in 1/4 of the map. That's how aggressive they were playing. That's normally something you only see from attack-sided when you are rushing a site with a full 5-stack. No, they were playing defensively. They got everyone within 1/4 of the map. And that's just insane, but that is how you defend this map. And then finally, let's take a look at round 7, and you can see straight away, similar sort of thing, the jet, the breach, the rays, the jet and rays trying to get aggressive towards dish, but you'll notice that, you know, there aren't any XL player, oh well, there is one player towards dish, I guess, but you know, that's not where the main push is coming. The main push is obviously coming towards A main, so let's see how they deal with that, and let's go back to the normal mode to take a look at what goes on in this round. So, you know, they get their aggression towards A main. They start pushing towards A main. If we do come back to the map very quickly, though, you'll already see that the 2 friends here have already started this again. they're already on their way, straight away, again, as you can see, happy to leave the site. Again, there's no way at this point that they could know how many people are there. They've heard the jet, I'm sure. They probably know that the breach is here as well. That's all they know of. These two, they're gone, right? They're just straight gone. Forget B-side. We'll play retake. Who cares? And they're coming, right? Now, this breach actually flashed himself, which is a bit unfortunate, the defensive breach. But we're going to see what's happening. You'll already see as well that the Raze has managed to join the breach on site. The Raze started dish, but is already back here as well. And the Jet is still watching this up here. But the Raze has come back to support their breach. And let's see what happens, shall we? If we play it forward a bit more, we get this great nade onto the XL player, onto the XL Jet. And then we're going to get a flash, and they're going to just peek it. You know, they're going to play aggressive. This is something that attackers, you know, it's something that you kind of associate much more with attackers, like this aggressive bleach flash. Let's push as a team. There is no holding on this map. They are not holding. They're saying, we're going to kill you. I mean, again, they don't necessarily know it's only one player, but they're just going to say, let's just swing. Get aggressive. They get that kill. They get a couple more because the other players then have to try and support their Jet after he's flashed. They end up with all these kills. They end up in a 4v2 and they end up winning this round because they were just uber aggressive. They played like they were on attack, you know. And again, look at the flank. Look at the, like, you know, even if, you know, let's say they didn't get that kill, or, you know, these players stayed behind and decided not to help their Jet, they still would have been stuck in here. And these two are still coming for them. You know, they're still coming at them 100%. And so, yeah, really, really well played by London United on this map defensively. But I think that this goes to show, this is the first time I've ever seen anyone defend this map, I think, well. And it goes to show how you defend this map. You use breach and you use a Raze and a Jet, and you basically play it like you're on attack. And you just hunt them down and you just go at them as aggressively as you think you can on defensive side. That is what they did. And it worked. It actually worked. Now, will this work long term? We'll have to see, I guess. But I genuinely believe that, yeah, this is how this map works. You know, you have to be uber aggressive on the defensive side if you want to have some success in trying to defend this map. Because if you wait and let them come to you a lot of the time, well, you're going to lose because you can't defend 6 choke points with 5 people.